Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Rob.
How are you?
I'm doing great today. How are you?
Good. You're the only one of us that's actually in Denver.
Yes, yes. Well, actually, I know there's a couple. I was in a Southwest roundtable yesterday, and I was pleasantly surprised. There was about 5 Denver people in my roundtable group, so that was pretty cool.
It
We
was
should have met in person.
it was supposed to be all of us in Denver.
I know, at the beautiful Gaylord Rockies.
I was not only looking forward to seeing Denver, which I've only been in the airport, but also I was hoping we'd get to meet Malcolm, your pig.
I know, that would have been great. We did talk about Malcolm coming out to the conference a lot, and so hopefully one day we get everybody here to Denver and we can do that. But we do have a nice airport too. So
I've been in that airport several times. I was in that airport during a really bad storm once, which was exciting.
yeah, and so the other thing about moving it to October, it was always kind of like, well, if it was going to happen in October, would the weather cooperate? And actually, it is pretty nice right now. It is a very gorgeous fall day here in Denver.
No, maybe next something.
Yeah, hopefully we can circle back, get it on the calendar. Trust me, I would love that. I was so excited when it was announced to be in my town finally. I wasn't around in LMA when it was in Denver. Probably, what was that, like 11, 12 years ago, I think?
Before my time.
Yeah, before mine too. So I was pretty excited to have everybody here, especially because there was about 25 of us that were supposed to go skiing on the original group, which was going to be a blast and probably a lot of trouble, but I was really looking forward to it.
You guys could do one of those ski things, like one of those online group.
Yeah. Well, I'm still bound and determined to get a couple of my people out here to go ski. I know Kelly McKinnon is not giving up on skiing. And actually, we did get to ski together in January at the only board meeting we had in person this year. And I hope to get Ken Gary out this summer. He's a big skier. And so they both got cars now. So anybody that wants to road trip across the country, I will still take you skiing this year.
I'm not a skier.
Yeah. Well, a prairie ski is pretty fun too. The cocktail part.
That I can do. I would die if I got on a slope with this.
Hey, there were many times that I thought the same thing. You get used to it.
Anyway, so we've got some great guests this afternoon.
Yes.
And, I think we should let's get them started. Our first guest is Megan Frank from LexisNexis, and she's gonna talk a little bit about what they do.
Perfect.
Hi, Megan.
Hi guys, how are you?
We're great.
Doing well.
Good.
So where are you? We know you're not.
I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So we are, this is kind of where our LexisNexis software solutions are based. So this is sort of our technology headquarters here in Raleigh. And I am just waiting for fall to come around. We keep bouncing back between summer and fall, and I just want fall weather.
Totally understand.
So I'm going to head out of here and let you guys chat. Talk amongst yourselves.
Thank you.
So hello again. We have now been the best of friends for about 5 minutes, which I love. I love meeting new people at LMA.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits.
Yeah. And actually this virtual platform's been pretty good for it. You know, I did a lot of the one-on-ones yesterday and met some new people. So this has been fun. But tell us a little bit more before we kind of like dive in about what your role at LexisNexis is, because you
Sure.
guys so much.
Yeah. So LexisNexis is huge, as you guys know. So I am actually the global marketing director for our software solutions business. So these are our software solutions that are mostly targeted more at the business side of law rather than the practice side of law.
Okay.
And the one that we really know and love our LMA community for is LexisNexis Interaction, which is our CRM solution. So that's kind of what we know and love our LMA community for, and I am the global marketing director for those.
Awesome. So I know you have some of your coworkers that are probably presenting still right now.
Yes, they are still presenting. I was actually in their session just before I headed out to meet with you guys, but so far so good.
So yeah, so can you give us any like takeaways from what they're talking about today for those of us that are kind of missing it right now and hopefully tuning in to us?
Exactly. Yeah. So they're really talking about, using data to improve client experience and to kind of get your fee earners a little bit more involved with your marketing and business development activities. And so a lot of it is around ensuring that your data is accurate, that you're measuring the right data and collecting the right data that you need, and that you're using technology to automate and augment where you can. So that luckily we have a great, resource page set up with all of the session resources. So if you weren't able to attend, LMA will obviously be putting this stuff out as well, and we have it on our side as well. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great to know, because there's obviously in conference, even in virtual conference, there's so many things to go out there and do. So you're trying to like grab all the information. So good to know where we can find that. So is this your first conference, or how have you been to international conference before, or a regional conference?
Yes, I've been to multiple LMA annuals. I think this is my third or fourth year with LexisNexis attending LMA. This is obviously a different environment because we're all virtual, but we always love this conference, both from my business side, right? This is obviously a huge, important organization for us. We love kind of the community that LMA has built. We love interacting with your guys' conference. And I think the content that we always have here is amazing. But also selfishly on my side, my personal side, I am in marketing. So this is kind of my crew, right? I love people. I love, all of the content is even applicable on my side of the world, even though I don't work in a law firm. I love hearing about kind of everything that's going on in marketing, how different marketers are thinking about things. And this year, especially considering all the pivoting we've all had to do, marketing, I feel like is the organization in every company, whether it's a law firm or an actual company, corporation, that has just been affected so tremendously. We're kind of chasing our tails, and hearing how everybody has sort of taken on the challenge has really been inspiring, but also kind of comforting to know you're not alone, right?
I could not agree with you more. I've spoken a couple times about the pandemic and getting through it. And that is definitely one piece of advice I tell people. And I even tell my staff that if you hear ideas, no matter what it is, we are all in this together. We are all learning to navigate, and we can learn from anybody right now. The smallest of businesses, have had ideas that, work. And I had that, like I went and got my hair done for the first time, and they had cool soap dispensers. So when I came back to the firm, I was like, we should get these automated soap dispensers. Like you can learn the like silliest things, about how to get through this from everybody. And so I couldn't agree more. And I love to hear that. I think that's great that you find value in LMA, not just for kind of why you're there as a vendor, but personally in your career and your development as well. So that is awesome. So having been to other LMA conferences, this is different, as you said, but it's focusing on the positive. What's the silver lining in the virtual been for you?
The silver lining, I think, has been the ability to interact with more people, which is weird, but the chat functionality, being able to kind of engage with people in that quick way that you don't necessarily get in person because you're all kind of moving past each other and, trying to rush to your own session. And but that chat functionality and seeing the way that this organization and everybody, all the attendees have engaged in it means you get those little moments with individuals, even if you're, across the country or across the world from them.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I'm so excited for you to say that too, because, I know some people feel like, oh, so many of us are extroverts and, want to, hug each other and see everybody, but there's so many people at an LMA conference. And so it's very hard to kind of see everybody, and make time to meet new people. So you're right, just chatting with people and connecting there. I think the roundtables were great yesterday, and the one-on-one networking is so fun. It's just a roulette that you don't know who you're going to get, and you're going to have 3 minutes to talk. Like I was furiously writing people's names down so I knew who I had and I could follow up with them. But yeah, I think you're right. There's, it kind of caters to the introverts out there. We definitely have them, the extroverts are loud and we see them all the time, but there's some introverts out there that, the chat function and the one-on-ones, they can go along with the pace. So I totally agree. I think it's a great silver lining in that. And for me too, that's been one of the fun things. It's like kind of following along in the chats and seeing all of that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and I think the one-on-one networking, that's such an interesting idea. I was so, kind of excited when I saw that you guys were doing something like that because, you mentioned the introverts. A lot of introverts are not going to walk up to someone randomly, even at a cocktail party. But this makes it sort of a little bit easier to engage and, expand your network in ways that you probably wouldn't do before.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. So, I met some great people like yesterday and I dedicated my time, and you get pulled in so many directions with LMA, and we all know by, late in the day, usually the bar is where you're meeting people of whatever hotel we're in. And that's where the networking really happens. So these one-on-ones have kind of been a fun change of that. I kind of joked yesterday with people that I'm the most awake and alive I've ever been because we don't have these late nights and early mornings. I'm having a little bit of a regular day. Although I absolutely miss the parties and seeing everybody, but there are silver linings in this, and that's what we got to look for during this time. So
exactly.
Tell me a little more about how we can find you and LexisNexis at the conference.
Yeah, so LexisNexis Interaction is kind of all over the place at LMA this year, obviously, because we love you guys. But we have two sessions, two breakout sessions. One is going on as we speak. And then we have one today at 2:45, which is taking your business development to the next level. So looking about high performing firms and how they may differ from others in their peer group and what we can kind of take away from those learnings. That's at 2:45 today. And then we also have a demo session on Thursday where management director Scott Winter, who is known throughout LMA, and he loves that group too, will be showcasing kind of what's been going on at Interaction and what you can expect in the future. And then we also have our booth at the exhibit hall. So step on by and we're there to chat and answer any questions.
That's great. Well, we obviously super appreciate you guys being so involved in the organization and bringing your product. I couldn't agree more with the data stuff. It's once upon a time, marketers were just kind of known as the creative people that made the pretty brochures or maybe threw the parties. And I love that it has changed so much. We have such smart people out there, and the products that you give us like this are just so helpful in our jobs now. The way that we can map out, relationships and really use data to drive decisions. That excites me that the industry is going that way, and that our jobs are kind of rising to another level out there. So so thanks to you guys for helping us get there and giving us products that really elevate us in our firm. So well, it's been great to chat with you. Any parting words before I go to my next guest today, or anything else you want to share with our membership?
Yeah, so I want to thank all of you. Thank LMA for bringing us together, even virtually. I think it was really important for all of us to get together. So thank you. And, I'll just echo what you just said. I am kind of the first person to shout it from the rooftops that marketing is a true skill set. And it's something that really requires a lot of intelligence, a lot of education, and we are proud at Interaction and LexisNexis to be part of that evolution of marketing, because, marketing is an important part of every organization, and they should be at that table and they should be driving those decisions. So we are happy to support that effort.
Love that. And I could talk to you for hours about getting our people the right tools to get that seat at the table and show they're just as important as anybody else in the C-suite. I think that is amazing that you guys do that for us. So thank you. And on behalf of LMA, thank you guys so much for being a part of our virtual conference. It's like you said, it's been a change, but it's been fun. And it's really all thanks to not only members, but vendors like you guys.
Thank you. We're happy to be here and we're happy to support.
Awesome. Rob, you're going to be joining me. Oh, I didn't get Rob. I went straight to my next guest.
Hi.
No introduction.
Hey, we color coordinated today.
We look like that we called each other, which wouldn't surprise anybody, but we actually didn't.
We're the prom king and queen.
Yes, I love it.
Of a very, very strange prom.
Yes, it is. It is. So obviously, I was just talking to Megan from Lexus, and asked her a couple questions. So got to ask you, just again, being positive, and you are Mr. Positive. You are so many people's ray of sunshine. I know it out there in our community. But what has been the silver lining of the virtual conference for you?
Well, I agree with the previous conversation. No, I could have listened to you guys all day. It was a great conversation. You guys should.
I could go on and on. I know, I'm trying to watch my time.
No, that's what we're here for. We're learning, whether you're in session or you're in conversation, wherever. The learning happens everywhere, and I think that's great. And I learned a lot from what you guys just said. I agree, LexisNexis, they do a great job with the tools that support us. And
I wish I could buy all the tools. I want all of the tools.
All of them, except none of us have any money to do.
Crunch all the numbers. And as people know you very much, you are treasurer next year, and I'm going to be your treasurer-elect. So yes, the crunching of the numbers is our jam.
God help us. And I was a theater major, so I'm glad you're on board next year.
I was a marketing major, but
I had one marketing class, so why I'm doing any of these things, I don't know. But to your question about, I was resonating on what you guys are saying about introverts. I am one too. Nobody believes it, but I am. I get energy by being by myself, which is really how you measure that. And I said to my husband last night when I went upstairs, I'm more exhausted going to a virtual conference than I am to a real one, just because there's so much to see, just like the real conference. And I think I'm so impressed with the level of content that we're seeing. People have obviously had a little more time to work on it, I suppose, but also the platform that we're using. I mean, we've got chat going on the right-hand side. We've got interactive sessions. There are roundtables. I mean, it will never take the place of being together in person, but I do feel like I'm connecting with more people than I would have. And for me, I see the name, I remember the name. So it's hard for me in a cocktail party sometimes to talk to someone and later they come up on LinkedIn and I'm like, yes, I remember you. And this actually helps me greatly. Early on in my LMA days, I was a wallflower and scared to death of everybody for a couple of the conferences. And I used social media pretty strategically after the fact to get to know people and develop relationships. And I sometimes will see their name and I don't even know how to pronounce it. Like it took me about 4 years to know that Gina Rubel is Gina Rubel, not Gina Rubel. So the way the platform's integrated, it's like the best of all those worlds. You're getting the interaction, you're getting face-to-face time, but you're also really getting to cement some kind of names with faces and it's just that much more memorable. So I'm very impressed.
Full disclosure, I really thought in the couple other virtual things I've done that I was going to be able to multitask a little bit.
No.
And early on yesterday, it was, oh no, there is no catching up here. And so it really felt like a real conference in that of it's like normally you would go back to your room to catch up on your emails kind of thing. And so, it was like little breaks to catch up on emails, but it was very interactive. There was stuff going on all day. And it was also this is kind of funny to say, it was much harder to leave a session when you're on a video screen than it is to sneak out the back door where there's lots of people. So it just kind of almost forced you to stay more engaged, which I loved. So today it was more okay, I know what my schedule is going to be. And I kind of mentioned to you earlier, I'm always a little overwhelmed on day one of conference. I want to see all the things. I want to see all the people. I want to see all the vendors. I want to go to all the sessions. And you kind of got to pick and choose and figure out how you're going to do it. And at the end, it's sad because you always miss a couple people and you have a drink or with everybody kind of thing. And so it's got the same vibe to me. It's a little bit overwhelming, but I love that, because that's what makes you come back for more. Is you don't get to see it all at once.
And I was excited to come back today. I didn't know how I feel, to be honest. And I also think, I don't know if that was their ulterior motive, the planning committee, because, they always say when we go to conference, turn off your phones, pay attention, be engaged. Yeah. And it's always designed this thing for people like you and me who are like, ooh, look, a bird. And it's no, you will pay attention. And I think that's great. And they've also built in the fun. I thought the opening yesterday with the green screen and Adrian and the anime, and the detail the level of detail, the animation that was behind the animation of a dumpster on fire floating down the river, or street, flooded street, and it just they've clearly put so much heart into this. It's fantastic, and I know
it's fantastic. And it's the longest running conference committee ever. These people have into this. Obviously, our president Jill has just put her heart into this so much this year. And Kristen and John have just done a phenomenal job. I thought the stage at the beginning, and I didn't even know what to expect. I
didn't either.
Sometimes people, I think, as board members, we know everything that's coming. I thought it was so cool. I did not know that was coming. There was a lot of fun surprises in it for me yesterday as well. So.
I got in trouble for making a joke a few weeks back when I said, yeah, forecasting, nobody really understands it. And somebody didn't understand my humor, and they were like, I'm scared that we have a treasurer who doesn't understand forecasting. I'm like, that was a joke. So I'm about to do it again. I'm like, people think we in the international board know all the things. No, we don't.
we each got our lane, and that's what it's all about. But
we're surprised.
I'm going to ask you about something that is definitely your lane more than mine, and that is LMA's Got Skills.
LMA's Got Skills. So there was going to be a karaoke night, I understand, in the original in-person conference plan, and they have
loves karaoke.
I know, and I do too. I was very excited about that, and I knew that they would have to wrestle the microphone out of my hand. So they reinvented it as LMA's Got Skills, and we have it's a show tonight at 7:00, and it is a show. We received several submissions. Should I read off who our performers are?
Yeah, give me a couple of our performers tonight. Who are we going to see?
So we have the following folks: Jason Klicka with an original song he wrote, sings, and plays the guitar on. It's fabulous. Heather McCullough with an interpretive dance for what 2020 means to her.
Ooh, I'm excited for that one.
Jim Jarrell gave us an exquisite clip from a show he was in called Falsettos, and it's gorgeous. Jim Durham, poet, is reciting his own poetry. Richard Hefner, who was at NTAP and is now a consultant on his own. He is also an exemplary musician. It's a whole video, a treatment of a Sondheim song that he rewrote the lyrics to address data analytics. It's fabulous. Lauren McNee, a flautist.
Oh,
and Brenda Pontiff.
The word. If I can just squeeze that in, flautist, into a conversation.
She's a fabulous flautist.
It's a great word. Great word.
We got Brenda Pontiff, who is our resident stand-up comedian, and she's got a riff on what it's like to do business development coaching with attorneys in this moment, and it's all stand-up.
That's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to that too.
Matt Parfit, dulcet tones, reading some literature, but I don't want to give too much of that away.
Yeah.
And then Renee Branson, who she sent me a clip just to, I was relentlessly posting photos and videos of myself singing because that's how I am. And she sent me a video just for my benefit. And I said, you need to submit that because she is singing a cappella to someone in her home, may or may not be Tim. And it's just, I laughed and I cried, and it's wonderful. And I strong-armed her into submitting it. She wants to kill me, but it's absolutely beautiful. So we've got.
And what did you submit?
I will be doing an opening number. I'm not competing because that wouldn't be fair. Not because I'm good, but because I'm emceeing. It may be a song from a Hugh Jackman musical. So I'll say. And it's our opening number. So
I cannot wait for this.
If people know I joke about myself as being P.T. Barnum, so there's another clue. So
there you go. I cannot wait. They are going to be great. I'm definitely looking forward to some in particular by you just telling me them. But I feel like there's some sleepers in this that are going to be like, oh my gosh, I had no idea what I was getting.
I'm going to sound self-serving. I mean, us going on and on about how wonderful the conference is sounds self-serving, but I really mean it objectively. It is really good. And I also feel that way about the talent. I have the privilege of having seen all the video clips, and it is a live show, but the performances will be video just for production purposes. But those performers who are attending the conference will join us for some commentary after each. So there'll be a live element to it for sure. And I'm there. God help us all. Jill has also challenged me to have as many costume changes as possible. And
Rob, we have a picture of that.
Yeah. Rob has an image. Rob's asleep. Oh, there we are. That's what our TV room looks like. I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear all those, and I hope I don't have any wardrobe malfunctions along the way. But
maybe some of us do, though. Actually,
yeah. Well, thanks. So that's yeah. But there's going to be so much excitement, and having seen all the performances, I can't pick a favorite because they're all unique, and they really are a great expression of the talents. Itzik. Our friend, he and I had a chat last week, and he was talking about this, and he was being helpful to me, and I'm like, oh no, I got plenty of help, thanks. But he said, it's about brand, and what we as marketers sometimes shy away from because we work in fairly conservative environments. We're afraid to show all sides of our personality, but when we do, when we show, you're a road rally queen, right? And
I know how to do co-pilot signs through the walkie-talkie.
So next year, I'll need a video on that.
Yeah, I'll have to do a video. I'm usually cursing a lot when I'm on a road rally because it's pretty fast speeds. But it is a skill set to know how to talk on the walkie-talkie and call things right and do it all. And I am learning. I am learning to be a better co-pilot. That has been a COVID hobby because just driving cars around is social distancing. So it's a very improved hobby.
And it's part of your brand. And his point to me was letting our clients, our attorneys know that, and letting the people in the world, I use LinkedIn pretty liberally. I do include some personal stuff there because I want people to know about my community involvement, the boards I'm on, the things that I do. And I think it gives people a sense of me and what they're going to get when they work with me. And for the most part, it's benefited me in my career. So I'm hopeful that this starts a new trend where people share these secret talents they have, because I think it just enriches our relationships.
So I am very excited for that. So
a couple things in case.
Real quick, do you have more to tell us about tonight?
I got a quick thing. If my mother's watching, it's behind the firewall of the conference, so you won't be able to see the talent show tonight at 7 o'clock. But if you're attending the conference, please join us at 7 o'clock via the Hop-In platform. It's going to be great fun, and I'm hoping that maybe our intrepid friends at Smith Buckland will release some and later. I think that would be great.
At least for our winners.
And my mother.
And your mother.
And my mother.
Susie.
Hey, you know what? I had an idea. You're going to hate this because you said you don't sing.
I don't.
But you are a Dave Matthews fan.
I am. Thanks to one of my good friends, Angela, who introduced me and has forced me to go to Dave Matthews every year for her birthday. And so it has grown on me. I was not a Dave Matthews fan, but yet I have seen him in concert like 6 or 7 times now. And so it's growing. And our good friend, Andy, is also a really huge Dave Matthews fan.
Yeah, and you live in Colorado, and I think it's required once a year, like, paying taxes. You have to go to a DMV. So I pulled up the lyrics to one of his more popular songs, and I'm going to attempt a few verses. If you want to sing along.
Oh, I don't know.
Or you could clap. Why don't you pretend you're at a concert, and you would do it at a concert that's.
Because I'm sober right now.
All right. Let's see. How does this even start? Okay, I got it. Up and down the puppy's hair, fleas and ticks jump everywhere 'cause of original sin. Down the hill fell Jack and Jill, and you came tumbling after 'cause of original sin. Rip away the tears, drink a hope for happy years, and you may find a lifetime's passed you by. What would you say? You a monkey on a string, you a doggy on a chain. What would you say?
No one wants to hear me sing.
That's as far as I'm going to go. There's something about a bear eating a candy. Those lyrics, because Dave Matthews is like, I'm like, I never knew. Those lyrics are peculiar.
Definitely.
I wouldn't.
You know what? Actually, I can't believe I missed this. Our conference co-chair, Kristen, is the hugest Dave Matthews fan.
I know.
And I believe her membership number is super low. She's super proud of it. So if you're listening and you're a big Dave Matthews fan, Kristen is the person to go to on that.
She has all those stickers on the back of her car, I bet.
Yeah.
That's where they are. The
Like,
Dancing Bears are Grateful Dead, though, aren't
stickers.
Yeah.
I can't.
Aren't there Dave Matthews? Well, the Grateful Dead has little dancing bears, but I thought Dave Matthews had something.
Like it's like a fairy. This is where
like a dancing woman.
Yeah, like a fairy.
This is where the interview goes off the rails. So
yeah,
Michelle,
unless you're a huge Dave Matthews fan, we've lost you at this point.
They hung up when they saw my jacket.
The last question here. Yes. What are you looking forward to outside of the talent show? What is the content? What else are you trying to grab the rest of the week?
I am looking forward to GC panel. I know it's a bit of a cliched answer, but we talked to Ashraf a little bit yesterday about it. I like the format. They have it broken out. You know, typically when we're in person, they're all lined up on a couch, like they're on the James Corden show. But they're going to have a marketer and a GC, or in-house and GC rather, having a conversation and kind of working through, I think, kind of a case study model. And I think it's going to be a really dynamic approach, especially given this platform. And to be honest, and I know you're in a slightly different job than the rest of us, and we all bow at your feet because you're basically the COO of your firm. But we always come back with good ammunition. I said yesterday from that session to say, look,
personally, I'm super excited to see the guy from DraftKings because I'm also a big sports fan, as you know, and so DraftKings is something that is just like blown up. So I'm definitely interested in hearing from him and his thoughts.
I had to look it up. I didn't know what it was.
I get it. I know. Andy and I are going to drag you along on this sports thing one day. Like we're going to get you there. But no, it's cool. Obviously, online gambling is expanding. It's out there. So really interesting for me as a sports fan. So other fans of sports out there and like to go to gamble on sports. I think this guy's going to be pretty interesting to hear from. I am also, this is a funny thing. So a big shout out to my buddy, Tim Corcoran, who has, I think, the last session in the conference, one of the last sessions. And full disclosure, we all know the last session is the hardest thing to go to.
Yeah.
But it's a session on compensation and marketing. And that is in an executive director role and still overseeing marketing. I am very much looking forward to that session. And it's funny because I did think, I'm glad that this is virtual. Again, a silver lining. You gotta find your silver linings, people. But again, a silver lining because usually by day 3, last session, I would be like dragging myself there.
And I think that's good programming. I mean, you always put one of the hook guest or the topic. I mean, I think the topic and Tim, obviously we all love Tim and he's such a leading light in our industry. I just think that's a great place to end. And also, if you think about it, we've learned and improved our skills through the 3 days, and you end with, are you asking for what you deserve? I mean, not to put too fine a point on it. So I think it's great.
How it affects marketing and business development is something that everybody should know. Even just going back to our conversation with Megan, before knowing about data and being able to pull all that in, our world is definitely changing. I have to give a huge kudos though to the conference committee. This conference is so spot on with what's happening now, and that doesn't always happen. It's hard to teach that kind of thing. But the focus on diversity, I mean, the keynote, everybody loved, but the focus on diversity, the focus on wellness, and then also on data and technology and the COVID piece. I think we're all tired of hearing about COVID, but obviously it's still very much affecting our lives. And so it's great to see that. But I mean, the tracks are just spot on to what is happening in our world today. And I love that.
And there's an interesting learning in this for when we do go back to that in person, because there is a pretty long tail on the content and when the event happens. And I think we focused on the technical a lot because it's the wazoo element, but the pivot that occurred, I know a lot of the content shifted. There was a lot of work that went into figuring out who would present what at what time. And I think that it is coming out so timely, so relevant, and so accessible. Is, I don't know if they hand out Oscars or Nobel Prizes for conference planning, but this has been pretty remarkable. And I
couldn't agree more. obviously, you know, we got to kind of test things a little bit last week with pre-cons, and I think we did a great job of working out a little bit of kinks from that. But no, I think I agree. The content's been great. The platform's been great. Obviously, I would love to be able to give you a huge hug right now in person. We are all still very much huggers, and the virtual hugs just don't do it. But the connection's been awesome out there with everyone.
Wow, I love you. Thanks for having me on. I know people are really sick of me at this point, so thank you.
No, I'm glad. You know, it's great to have you hype up LMA Got Skills tonight. You know, you are the man for that. That is your world. And so again, like we said in the beginning, all of us on the board we have our own lanes of things we focus on and what we do, and that is yours. I could not do it justice. And so thank you for joining me today, and you know, be your wonderful self.
Thank you. Hi, Rob.
I'm back. So it sounds like we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
Wanted to jump in and let everybody know we are back at 2:30.
Okay.
Nikki Sherrill from Jones Day is going to be our host, and she will be speaking with Tracy Stewart from Blatel Communications and Gina Cho, who is one of our speakers and is going to talk to us a little bit about wellness.
Tracy's got a great session coming up as well. I'm excited for hers. I think she's tying in like news with how do you get people to market on what's trending. And I always have such a hard time with that. So like getting lawyers to write something fast. So I'm super looking forward to Tracy's session.
Should be great. Well, thanks, guys. Good to see you both. And
bye.
We'll see you somewhere around the conference.
Bye.
Yes.
See you.
Bye.